at Cincinnati Children's are so grateful for all of your good work, and we're grateful for the partnership of LLS. I also am here to extend a note of personal thanks from my husband, Senator Rob Portman, and from our whole Portman family. As we lost Rob's mother, Joanne, a number of years ago, when she was much too young, to multiple myeloma. So we too know the impact that blood cancers have, as it has hit our family as well. Now, on a different note, it's my great honor and my great pleasure to introduce to you tonight Cincinnati's 2012 Honored Hero. Her name is Catherine Liska. I think you have a lot of friends out here today, Catherine. Catherine is 12 years old. She's a 7th grader at Nagel Middle School in Anderson Township. And she's here tonight to share with us a little bit about her own personal experience. So will you all please join me in giving a great hero's welcome to Catherine Liska.
Hi, my name is Catherine Liska, and I'm 12 years old. I am proud to say that I'm a leukemia survivor. I would like to tell you a bit about my story and how you can help people just like me. In November 2007, I wasn't feeling well. My family thought I had an infection or a really bad cold. A couple of days later, I spiked a very high fever. We got an appointment with my pediatrician, who told us to go to Children's Hospital emergency room right away. At Children's Hospital, they performed blood tests and confirmed that I had leukemia. At Children's Hospital, I was immediately admitted to the hospital and began receiving treatments as an inpatient for the next 2 months. Leukemia is a type of cancer that affects the blood and bone marrow, the spongy center of the bones where our blood cells are formed. The disease develops when blood cells produced in the bone marrow grow out of control. Here are some interesting facts about ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. ALL is the most common type of cancer in children from 1 to 7 years old. ALL is the most common type of leukemia in children from newborn up to age 19. ALL affects the blood cells and immune system. For 2.5 years, I received chemotherapy and many blood transfusions at Children's Hospital. It was a very tough time, but I always knew that my family and friends were there to support me. Thankfully, 3 years ago in March, I completed all my treatments. To this day, I remain cancer-free and return to Children's every 6 months. One of the toughest things I had to deal with during my treatment was to handle the people who didn't understand why I was bald or mistaking me as a boy. It was tough, but it made me strong and appreciate that this illness didn't just affect my physical body. I remember one time in the hospital, I was going onto the elevator with my dad. At the same time, a mom and her son were getting on. Clearly, the little boy was blind. He was feeling for the walls and his mom was holding onto his shoulders. I have been through situations where people stared at me, so I didn't want to treat him the same way. I remember my dad was trying to get in between us. I think he was trying to block my view, even though I didn't glance. The elevator doors opened and we got off. Then, something hit me. I stopped and my dad followed. I told him that I am so lucky. His face turned puzzled. This was the time I had no hair, I was chubby from steroids, and I couldn't go to school. We both knew that I was about to receive chemotherapy that would make me very sick. He responded, "How in the heck are you so lucky?" I said, "Sooner or later, this chemotherapy is gonna work and I'm gonna be done with leukemia. This little boy will always be blind." I knew where my place in life was. I think about that story often and remind myself how precious our lives are and how we should never take anything for granted. I was always sad or depressed during my illness. There were many funny times that maybe have remembered as a downer, but my family and friends managed to turn it into something funny. Like the time the nurses told me I had to drink 100 cups of salt water to test my kidneys. I don't think the nurses understood how many times I had to go to the bathroom. My aunt made the trips for the bathroom humorous, though. I just think the nurses were trying to test the size of my bladder, though. I could have told them that it wasn't very big from the start. Here's another that makes me laugh just thinking about it. Every month during my chemotherapy, I would have a spinal tap. The anesthesiologist would come into the room and put me to sleep. I told him every month that if I could count down from 20 and not fall asleep, that he would owe me $1. He would always agree to the bet and tell me he never lost. The challenge was accepted. I think from all the spinal taps, I never made it past 16, but I still would bet him the $1 the next month. There were many stories like this. I think most of them were just a way to help pass time, but it did for me. I remain grateful that I am still alive. I have also learned that there are many people out there who are much less fortunate than me. I'm so thankful for the amazing doctors, nurses, medications, and blood products that we have today. Since my treatment is over, I've been working hard with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to educate others about the disease. Without the advanced treatment through extensive research, I would have not have survived to be speaking to you today. I am honored to serve as this year's honorary hero for Light the Night Walk this October. I am a team captain, and my team is called March 4th. This has two different meanings to me. It's not only the day I ended my chemotherapy after 2.5 years, but it's also the day that speaks to you. It gives a command to March 4th. It is very appropriate that March 4th was the last day of my treatment. I am now marching forth with my life. Thank you for having me here, and thanks so much for supporting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Is she not incredible or what? Yes, and she is surrounded by tons of friends and love. Another round of applause for Catherine. Wow. It's amazing. All right.